Buongiorno e benvenuti alla sessione inaugurale dell'11° Congresso degli italianisti scandinavi, organizzato dalla sezione di italianistica dell'Università del Dalarna. Si tratta di un evento scientifico di rilievo per la nostra università che è lieta di accogliervi nella persona del Vicerettore dell'Università, professor Casson, qui presente il rappresentante del nostro Rettore, professoressa Marita Illiges, impossibilitata a intervenire per impegni istituzionali. Cedo quindi la parola al nostro Vicerettore Andrew.
Buongiorno, signori e signori. And that, you'll be relieved to hear, will be the last Italian I'll attempt to say this today. My name's Andrew Casson. I'm Vice-Rector of this university. And although I've been working as an academic bureaucrat for this last 20 years, my doctorate is in literature. And I'm very proud that we are able to welcome you here today on behalf of our Vice-Chancellor to Dalarna University for this conference of Scandinavian Italianists. My doctorate is from Stockholm University, and that doesn't mean that it's only Swedish or Scandinavian literature. It means world literature too, and this is something I'm eternally grateful for. When I started at school in England, we read only English literature. In Sweden, when I started to teach Swedish at upper secondary school, I was expected to teach not only Strindberg and Ibsen, but also Dante and Shakespeare. Ah, Dante. The first lines of Dante I read in my life were in Swedish. Till mitten av vår levnadsvandring hunnen hade jag i en dunkel skog gått vilse och irrat bort mig från den rätta vägen. And for those of you who don't know Swedish, it may be the first and the only time that you will hear the great master in this strange Nordic dialect. Some of you will recognize that this was Björkegren's translation. And it gripped me most deeply, partly perhaps because at that time I reached that middle age that Dante meant, 35, I think I was, and had probably erred numerous times from the straight and narrow path into that dark forest. But the fact that Swedish schools and universities do still teach world literature as well as Swedish hardly weighs up the fact that the study of world languages has so drastically declined in Swedish universities, and indeed the whole of higher education in the Western world in these past few decades. And that is, with a few exceptions. And our own university is perhaps one of the more notable of these exceptions. So let me tell you just a few words about our story here on the outskirts of Europe. Officially we'll be 40 years old next year. Not me, I wish, the university. But we've built on traditions of higher education in the town since the early 19th century, when the College of Mining was founded here. As you probably know, the copper mine in Falun produced half of the world's copper in the 17th century and provided the cash for Sweden's era as a great power. Both the copper and the power declined, and Swedish was not destined to become a world language. But the country was early in education for all, and teacher education started here in the 1880s, and we've been working on it ever since. Our biggest programs of professional education, teaching, engineering, nursing, now augmented by social work, media production, sports science, tourism, and a range of arts and science subjects that cover most aspects of society. We do research in most of these professional fields, and one of our largest research areas is intercultural studies, strongly supported by our Italian department and all our other languages. Interestingly, we also have an advanced program of African studies in that field, with close links with 4 or more Italian universities, including Bologna, and generally filled actually by Italian exchange students at advanced level. So we do have quite a lot of contact with Italy here. We have 16,000 students. More than half of them are on the internet, half of them here in Falun and in Borlänge. But what makes us stand apart from most of the other Swedish universities is really two things. The first is the fact that for the last 15 years or so we've been leading the field in net-based higher education. In a sector where distance education has mainly been a continuation of the old correspondence school, we've chosen instead to use the full potential of digital communications and meet our students live in real time. It's been an outstanding success, and it's not least the result of innovative work by our language staff. At the beginning of this century, few believed that language teaching could be done with any quality at a distance. But our staff have proved that in a higher education landscape, real-time collaborative language learning does have many benefits. So many that now we can offer studies in 11 major languages, from Mandarin to German, from Japanese to Arabic. In fact, in 8 of the world's 11 most widely spoken languages, together spoken by almost half of the world's population. And our Italian department was a pioneer and innovator in all this work. I know, because I was the one that met the Italian lecturer that brought a huge sheet of cardboard into my office, showing the benefits of web-based language learning. And since then, we've never looked back. So although I said that Dalarna is on the outskirts of Europe, in this sense, we're right in the middle of the world. And our language students are scattered all over the world too, wherever there's a working internet connection. It means that some of them have to get up in the middle of the night to take part, but they do that, and they seem to do it quite well. Most government and higher education policies seem to believe that language and culture studies are unprofitable. They don't lead to employability, they don't lead to economic growth. We believe that they're more important than ever in a globalized world that's torn by deepening cultural conflicts, and that we need to connect the local with the global and engage all our students and staff in finding ways to understand what makes a good society, and at the same time finding ways that higher education and research can contribute to making that good global society. So once again, welcome to Dalarna, when it's at its best, with all the flowers and the greenery and the spring and the early summer, and the best of luck with your conference, and welcome back soon. Thank you.